come with me for a dive in a Mexican cenote. You won't get wet, I promise. So I'm at Kukulkan Cenote. I'm about to do my first dive of the day. The second one will be Little Brother, and that will extend to the Chac Mool Cenote. Both are going to have very beautiful stalagmites, stalactites. Actually, I did forget to mention one little part. I can't take my GoPro into the cenote because there are divers who can't control their buoyancy and they don't. So the owner of this property decided that he's done with that. So here's the reason they don't allow GoPros and cameras. There's a professional photographer in the cenote. All of the footage that you're going to see in this video that's filmed underwater is actually from Triton Productions, who have a cameraman pretty much daily on site. And you do have to pay for your footage if you want to have it. Now it's vital to keep good trim here to prevent kicking up silt. And Chac Mool is the cenote on the other side of Little Brother. So first we're diving in Kukulkan, starting over here and going all the way down, around, and coming back. The red areas are for cave divers only, so we're doing cavern diving. There's going to be a halocline over here. There's going to be a cloud in the middle here, around that area. And that exit for cave divers is actually coming out right here. And the Little Brother pool, which I just showed on the video, my bad, this is it. This is Little Brother. Doesn't look like much, but it is a gem. Is this part here. So this is going to be our second dive, and you can see it extends to Chac Mool Cenote. So again, we'll start over there, go around, and come back. So up on top, all around us, are these amazing corals in the rock. If you look closely, you can find so many different ones, because of course the Yucatan 65 million years ago used to be a tropical sea. Alright, let's go look at our dive site. So we're heading off to Kukulkan first. The pathway to that site is in pretty good shape, as you can see, but I would still recommend bringing flip-flops because walking on this in bare feet is horribly painful. And here we have the cenote. This looks phenomenal. The water is so clear, so beautiful, and this is where that gorgeous ray of sunshine is going to come in through that you saw earlier in the video. Pro tip, never leave your scuba tank standing. It might fall over and damage everything. Okay, enough with the surface interval, we're going in. Now this is the line we'll be following during our entire dive, and cave divers have a different color line, so it's important not to mix the two up. So one of the debates I'm always having with other divers is people who really love marine life don't want to dive in cenotes at all, because they're saying there's no fish, there's nothing to see, it's dead rocks, and it's just a different kind of dive. You've got to adjust your expectations. You're not coming there to see marine life, you're coming in there to see scenes like this. And I must say, video just does not do it justice. This place is absolutely spectacular when you're in there yourself and shining your flashlight on dark spaces and illuminating them just like this. This is that area that cavern divers cannot enter, but cave divers can. And here's a little bit of that halocline with decomposing matter on top. This was a 45-minute dive, but unfortunately that's all the video I've got for it. Let's go to the debrief. So I just came back from the Kukulkan Cenote dive, and every single cenote so far has been completely different. And Kukulkan is a really cool combination of like fallen in rocks, corals, caves, and little passageways. There were really cool areas where you could look up and you're in the dark and you can see like beautiful turquoise blue water up ahead of you, and the sun rays coming in through the water. That was really magical. There were quite a few areas where there was a halocline, and if you shine your flashlight on it, it kind of looks like waves at a rave. It's the best way I can describe it. So you're kind of swimming in and out of it, so sometimes it's blurry, sometimes it's not, and if you wanted to warm up, you just go down below to where the seawater is, and you immediately get warm. You rise up a little bit above the halocline, and immediately you're chilly again. That was kind of funny. But so many different areas to explore in there. It does say that it's available for open water divers. I would still recommend people have very good control over their buoyancy before coming over here, because there are plenty of ways to hit your head if you're not paying attention. So, Little Brother's coming up next. It's amazing how the cenote doesn't look like anything much up on top, but it is actually one of my favorite places to dive. I'm actually struggling to figure out if it's my top favorite. It's definitely my top 3, top 2. It gets very competitive with these cenotes, and I've gone in 6 at this point. I cannot decide, because look at this. This is so cool to see underwater and swim through. Just millions and millions of years standing still in time. And you're one of the very few people who get to go down there and have a look at it. This is just absolutely fantastic. Now, having been in caves on land, in dry caves, I can tell you that there's a huge difference between diving in one and walking through one. And it mainly goes down to the fact that you can just go about anywhere when you're underwater. You can go right up to the ceiling, you can accidentally bump into all of these stalactites. There is that added element of danger for sure, and something that novice divers have to be aware of when they're in here, because buoyancy is so very important going into these tight spaces. This is one of the deepest points at about 14 meters, and you can see that the halocline is very distinct there. This is also where you can see the exit. This is one of those areas where it's all dark and then you can see the light blue turquoise water directing you to the surface. This was just absolutely brilliant. One of my favorite dives. And who doesn't love a post-dive meal? Honestly, they thought of everything here. This is my favorite spot ever. So at this point I've been in 6 cenotes, 4 this year, 2 last year, all with the cenote guy, who I highly recommend, with my beer, post-dive. I don't know which one is my favorite cenote. Here are all the divers that come here, all the dive guys. Look at all of that. And I dive with the cenote guy. So thanks for watching, you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments.